This meeting will be video recorded and broadcast over local access channel 8 and through the town website at www.eastham-mass.gov. And this is the Human Services Advisory Committee on Wednesday, November 19th. Let's get the date right. And we are ready to get started. We'll call the meeting to order at, it says 6:34 there. And okay. I have in Hilda, did you decide, are you willing to do the minutes
Do I
again?
have a choice? Or no?
Yeah, unless somebody else will stand up and do them, because we lost our note taker.
I thought we were gonna do the AI. We're gonna do the
I don't have access to it yet.
Okay, can I explain what I learned from the clerk in the search committee? He said to me that he emails Devin.
Devin is leaving. I have Rafal's and I
Okay,
have
so
emailed
whoever this other guy.
both of them
Okay,
and
so
heard
and then
nothing.
and they send the AI summary to him, and then he submits that to our committee, and we edit it. Right. And then it's.
Right,
And
and I
it's
haven't
very well
heard from
done.
either one of them yet, so I can't say that we're gonna rely on
It's
it.
gonna be there. The AI is gonna be there and it'll be there.
Just
Just
that,
for your help.
yeah, we probably need to have a sort of an outline of what we do anyway, so that we have something to work on what we edited. I mean, it can be, everybody can be taking notes and whatever, but until I feel like we have.
T-Tech in the daytime, but he, for the
Yeah.
town. You remember that tall guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Oh,
what.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
until I have
It's good.
some confirmation that I'm going to be able to get them, I really can't. I really feel like we need to keep doing what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
Because we are supposed to turn our minutes in within a particular amount of time.
Do you want me to try to reach out to Devin and just say I took minutes? Do you have minutes that I can look at?
I've emailed both of them,
Yeah.
both Devin and Laval, and who is taking over for Devin. And what I understand, because I met a different person, Chris, at the library on Tuesday and sort of cornered him. And got the lowdown. Anyway, so that is, that on the AI. Yes, I would like to be able to use it because I think it would be, make it simpler.
It's there, you might as well use it.
Right, but until I actually get confirmation that
Yeah.
I can get it, I don't, all right, if we can quickly we do have somebody waiting, from, Elder Services. It is not Laura, it is Mary Ann Ryan, because, Laura had to be elsewhere tonight. She had to be at.
Mary Ann Ryan?
Yes, Mary
Okay.
Ann Ryan.
I think I know her.
And I believe that's who is sitting with us out there. But we do have our minutes. Do we want to quickly do the minutes or get those taken care of?
I think I must have fell off your email list because
Because they haven't gotten to you?
No,
Oh,
I haven't gotten them. I looked in
well, let me take what's your email again?
EGREER 12754 at AOL. I mean, I get other stuff, but I just haven't gotten those with any attachments. I don't know.
I wonder if somehow it's stopping because of the attachments.
Yeah.
Because I know in another organization, we were having trouble.
Spam.
I'm spam. Probably ate enough of it as a kid that I know.
Did you? So you didn't get it?
Did you look in junk?
Yeah, I did.
Nothing.
I did, yeah.
Or delete it, because they're often
Yeah,
are different
I
things.
did
Yeah.
old, I looked at, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So these were done by Bill, right?
These were done by Bill.
Did she say she used AI at all?
No, she sent them to me by last Wednesday night.
Yeah, no, it's, did she have AI in a computer that she was able to?
No,
Really just types it as we.
That's
as
right.
we go.
Right.
As you-
so she was typing.
She did a great job.
So,
What
yeah.
What a loss.
Oh, I know.
a great job.
I
Under
know.
one, under number one, the last sentence, I think it needs to be corrected. Kate will be submitted to town hall. I don't think we wanna submit you. Maybe
Okay,
Kate
will
will
submit.
submit.
Not submitted, will submit
Submit, will submit.
them to town hall, okay. I will change that.
And may I ask for a personal thing, the very last sentence, I don't want to change that, I emphasize the way marginalized communities will suffer more as a result. I think of the current, environment, the climate, rather than administration, I don't want to make it political. So if you
Okay.
could just say the current climate,
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
the current climate,
That's deep to the fence.
Yeah.
that's not being political.
That's like, no, that's like let everybody know without ever saying it.
yes,
You know what I'm saying, I'm not saying.
okay.
There shouldn't be.
So that was good, good stuff. Good changes.
Those
Yeah,
are great.
just.
Are there any other comments on the
Business.
minutes?
Are you okay, ladies?
Yeah, we moved to.
Are there any other comments on the minutes?
No,
They're too long.
so we should, make
I
a
second.
motion.
Oh,
Yeah. MJ made a motion,
Okay.
Hilda seconded.
Minutes.
Any other discussion on the minutes? Okay,
Good.
all those in favor of accepting the minutes
Say
as,
aye.
as changed?
Aye.
And any, negative, any, my brain, I was, see today.
I know.
Anybody voting against the minutes? I think it was unanimous. All right.
So is that something you're able to then to?
Yes, I have them in a Word document and
Okay,
then I'll make the
okay.
changes and
Okay,
then
good.
I quickly
that's
whisk
really-
them to the town.
Yeah,
hall
okay, good.
And stuff. And so also, we do have Billy leaving us. And which is sad. Because it was just wonderful to have her
It's so dynamic. She was.
perspective, but she is making the right choice. I mean,
Oh.
she's a newly blended family and just, families come first.
Mhm.
And I think she
Like
really
that.
did want to do something in the town, and I think that,
I told her it was gonna be here for a long
Yeah,
time.
Yeah, there you go.
this,
Good job.
right,
We
exactly.
have chances.
Yeah, she will have plenty of chances to do things and such. So I will. I'll get all.
Yeah, really, yeah. Yeah.
And
It's. She doesn't. Yes, yeah.
I'm surprised about the volume of the.
Yeah.
I was, talking about my mind.
Have a seat
down there.
Probably you knew that
Yes.
before, that was like a,
Welcome to the
Surprise.
committee. This is Mary Ann Ryan from
Hi.
Elder Services.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome. We do have one of our committee members, Felice, on Zoom.
Hello.
She can hear you but she hides behind the block there, but she is.
Mary Ann, Maryanne, Ryan, Ryan. And I'm the CEO of the Elder Services. Rhode Island.
But we go. Yes, we really appreciate coming down
Yeah, I'd
to
like
us
to
and stuff.
come in person, so, and excuse the Jean, so I hadn't gotten out of work
Oh,
earlier.
if you look around the table, I think you'd find all of us. It's
The rest of the house.
But because we're a committee, but we're pretty relaxed is really
Okay.
what we are. And we've all had your application and had a chance to look at it, but it is always great to have you just give us sort of an overview and then we can, get to questions if we have them.
Sure, so we do make an appeal to every town to help support our Meals on Wheels program, and I do have some information, and I'm not handing it out because I wanna waste paper or anything like that, but I always believe that you might have friends, family, or somebody in your life that may need us at some point in time, so it's our general brochure and
Nice, I do.
our
Yeah.
nutrition brochure.
Good.
Oh, thank you.
So how much time do I got? 15, 10 minutes?
No, a good 15, 20 minutes,
Oh, okay,
20,
great,
25
great.
minutes, so we got plenty of time.
All right, so Elder Services Cape Cod, private nonprofit, and the Meals on Wheels program, we've been in business for 54 years now, and with meals, we've been delivering probably that entire time. Um,
So they really started doing it that long ago.
yeah, in the 70s. Yep, yep, so, because of a need, for sure. So, with the town of Eastham, just checking my numbers, we served last year about 91 residents. I say more or less, but that's what we have reported, 91, and 7,000 and 98 meals. Um, two residents here who are homebound. Our meals come out of Orleans. That's one of our sites. So it's but these are Eastham numbers, so
Yeah,
it's just that location and space. Years ago, we were at the senior center. So the meals are delivered primarily by volunteers.
mhm.
So that's a big piece of our program. So for the town of Eastham, I don't have off the top of my head how many volunteers, but it's at least 15 to 20 volunteers. Yeah. Okay, we are delivering now meals 4 delivery days a week. We were doing 5 and we have had to cut it back. But we don't want anyone to be without a meal, so we do
I saw
offer
that, yeah.
a frozen meal that's delivered on Monday, and then we do have, if the person is frail and really needs support, we do a safety check, phone call to check in to see if they're okay.
Because that's a big part of your,
It is a big part of it. It was really devastating to make that decision this past spring, knowing that we have cuts. In general, the program is, we say it's a federally funded program, it's a federally mandated program. So as an area agency on aging, we're required to do a Meals on Wheels program. And Cape wide, it's pretty extensive. We put out at least 1,200 meals for Cape and Islands a day, between 1,200 and 1,300 meals. And altogether in volunteers, we have about 1,100 volunteers who are primarily meals drivers. Some people are volunteer packers too, that pack up, So for Eastham, I believe we have 3 different routes, if not 4. So the driver would go to the Orleans site and pick up their cooler with meals, and the meal is it's made by our caterer, and it's ready to be heated up to eat. It's a cook chill program. And all our meals go through the state nutrition's menu of, what we can serve, and it's well balanced, so. It's usually a meal that has a protein, a starch, and a vegetable. And then a bread is provided along with milk, plus a dessert for diabetics. They would have an alternative dessert, sometimes sugar-free, sometimes fresh fruit. And the menu varies every 6 weeks. You don't see the same exact meal. So I don't know about you, but I can't even do that in a week.
wow,
Like
yeah.
variation. So there's a lot of variety in meals. We do offer, if a resident is vegetarian, we have a vegetarian meal now, which is great. So our catering has improved greatly. And we also have, like, the one ethnic meal that we offer for the Cape is Caribbean, which is very appealing to people who maybe Jamaican, Cape Verdean, Haitian, or just like Caribbean food. And we do offer what else along the lines there? If people had a special diet, if they were they had kosher needs, there's very
Oh,
we could accommodate that and have that done, but it's usually for that it may be a frozen meal.
okay, yes, yeah, cause
But we try to,
pretty tricky.
accommodate when we can. So that's it, the basic thing in the program. So it's 4 days a week where we're coming to the door, knocking on the person's door and handing them their meal and checking on them. How are you today, Miss Ryan? And good to see you. People get to know their drivers, like they know their Monday driver, they know their Wednesday driver, that type of thing. And they, you feel really connected that way. And drivers are trained. We criminal background check all drivers, make sure they're on the up and up, and they're trained to really, know that their role is to have boundaries and to check on the person, but they also know if this Ryan all of a sudden is really starting to decline, or, I've noticed in the past 3 weeks, like, she's very, very confused. That would be something that they would tell the site manager, and a call would go to the office, and a care manager would be alerted to that to, do a home visit to check on them.
Right.
Something's going on. So our clients, I mean, it's confidential, so they are, part of our system, if you will. So for example, the senior center has a different role in the town here. We work very collaboratively with Dorothy and the COA here. And as a matter of fact, somebody who's on their board is also on our board of directors. I think Carol Benita
Oh, yeah.
probably came last year to the meeting. She's still on our board of directors. And, what else
Yes,
did I
because
tell you?
Dorothy says anything to feed our members, that's what
Right,
what
right.
she's.
So,
So, I mean,
that,
not that it's just anything, but it's really, that's
Yeah.
a focus that they really have,
Yeah.
is to make sure.
so the other big piece of the delivery too is like, there have been sadly occasions where we knock on the door, somebody's not answering. And so the volunteer has a protocol, everybody has cell phone now, so the volunteer would, call the site manager and say, hey, Miss Ryan is not answering the door. And, let's check on her, so the driver knows to get on to the next house if somebody else is waiting. And so what happens is, back in our office, we make a phone call, see, maybe they were in the bathroom or something like that, or
Yeah.
just couldn't get to the door on time. If they're not answering, then we have an emergency contact for everybody, so we call. And it might be the case that, hey, oh, I took my mom, it's a daughter, I took my mom to the doctor today, we forgot to cancel the meal. Okay, it's okay. Thanks for telling us. And, or, that emergency contact is either not answering or we don't know. And so the protocol would be to keep trying for a little while, and then we could call the, Eastham Police and say, could you do a well-being check? So if they're in the middle of emergency, because our police are busy, they're not gonna run out, but they will get to their
Yeah.
house and just do a check, which is great. So there are times too that the driver might knock on the door and they can hear somebody on the other side saying, well, I have fallen and I need help. But drivers do not go into the home, unless it's somebody who's totally impaired and we have permission to, enter the home, so. But we do train them to, they're not really there to be a friendly visitor, but they are friendly and,
If they've chosen to do this,
yep,
because it's volunteer.
right.
Then you would think they're going to be
Yeah,
friendly, and that's
Yeah,
what they.
but I mean, we have a volunteer handbook and everything, so it really is, part of our mission is to support people, stay independent in their homes and with services. So, some people, there are no income eligible, guidelines for Meals on Wheels, that's the federal rule. But most people are in need. However, we do have people who have funds and that, certainly do donate to us, but the need is that for some reason or other, you either can't grocery shop or you can't stand maybe at the stove, or you have problems with your hands to cook and prepare meals. So it really helps. And for many people too, it's really supplementing their food budget and helping it,
So basically, they really, there might not be an income.
Right.
Requirement, but they sort of still, they need to have somebody preparing their food.
Yeah, but I could say that 90% of the people that we serve, it's, there's an income need there, for sure.
Yeah.
So you don't charge for any of the meals?
So
Wasn't there a
that's-
time?
Yeah,
when
that's,
it was
no,
done?
that's part of it's called Title III, the Federal Older Americans Act program, is that we cannot charge for the meals.
Okay.
We can only ask for a donation, and we do ask for a $4 donation, and on average, out of, gosh, I can't even tell you the exact number, but I know from a number from the last fiscal year was over 375,000 meals. That, we receive an average of $1.05 donation for what we
For
ask
each.
for each meal. So donations are part of it. Federal funding has been level. So I can talk about funding for a long time. It's really sad. Our federal funding was so held up last year. It was ridiculous. Usually federal funding is released for, October 1's the beginning of the federal year. And we didn't see any federal money until like May. And we actually didn't have a contract with the state to do the federal program, which was really scary. So we had to make decisions, and we also did have a cut of $200,000 in what we call commodity grant, which was USDA cash. So that really impacted the whole. But this is the number one program that Elder Services fundraise for. For nonprofit, we're a pretty big size nonprofit. We're not Cape Cod Healthcare, but we are a large size nonprofit. I mean, our operating budget is large, but yet the majority of our budget is for services that go right back into the home. So we have a big state home care program. And part of people's home care might be, do you have a homemaker or a home health aide to help you with personal care? Or maybe you have a personal response button, I've fallen, I can't get up. Or it might be, we have Meals on Wheels going to the home too as well. So. Some people just have Meals on Wheels, but some people have a whole package of services.
So a family could come to you, and if they wanted to have their parent, young, say the kids, their parent needed some support, they could come to you and try to get things.
Yeah, that's often the case as a caregiver, whether they're here on Cape, and as you know, many older adults do not have family here on the Cape, or children can't afford to live here, or they've moved away with their careers and their own kids. And so oftentimes it might be a long distance caregiver that gets in touch with us and says, I need some help. I'm doing long distance caregiving, or it could be a friend or a neighbor saying, I've noticed that, my friend here my neighbor needs some help. And, so we work with that person to see, assess them what they need. And our job is really to hopefully follow them all the way through life of what they need their support on. And again, our goal is, to keep people in the community living independent. And so for the Cape, I think it's a shocking number, which is not surprising to many of us here that live, because I live in Brewster, but from, Lower Cape to Outer Cape, that the number for Barnstable County for older adults is now at 43%. So 43% of our population is over the age of 60. And it is slated by 2030, so that's less than 5 years.
Yeah.
To be close to 48%.
Yeah.
So we are one of the hot spots in the country. We're probably the third most concentrated for number of older adults percentage wise for the population.
Wow.
Massachusetts rate is 23%, and again, we're over 43%. We need some fresh
60 to
statistics.
be eligible for Meals on Wheels?
For Meals on Wheels, yes.
Okay.
We have a lot of times too that people for younger disabled want to be on our program, and we just can't with the funding be able to sustain it,
Yeah.
and we've thought about like, could you do private pay Meals on Wheels, and you really can't. For many of our folks too, we like to avoid Moms for Meals or whatever, because some people have a very small refrigerator. Maybe not so much in the town of Eastham, but in other places that we serve, people are living in single rooms or converted
Mhm.
motel rooms, and they don't have the refrigerator space for a giant box of frozen meals.
Yeah.
And plus, somebody comes from UPS and leaves you a giant box, you're like, how do I pick this up if we have
Right.
Yeah.
different physical,
Issue, right,
Yeah.
right.
so barriers, but
30 trips back and forth.
yeah. But our Meals on Wheels drivers, the average Meals on Wheels driver is staying with us for, 5 years. And we just had one person, this is unbelievable. She was like delivering meals for 40 years. I'm like,
40?
yeah, 40 years.
Oh,
Yeah, out of Yarmouth. That was crazy.
That's a lot of miles
Really
on your
incredible.
vehicle. That's,
started as
That's
a
a-
very young.
That's
yeah,
all,
yeah.
you don't pay the mileage or anything, right?
So that's a very good question. So we do offer mileage. The majority of our drivers, say, no, I don't want it. They can put it on their taxes that they donated miles. But
Okay.
we do have, drivers that, they do need mileage. And we don't want somebody who's, let's say that's, I don't want to even say challenging income, but that needs that. To lose out on an opportunity to volunteer.
Yeah.
So we put it in our budget to reimburse for mileage.
it's a way somebody might be able to give back.
Right.
If they're getting something, they could give back
Right.
and,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so But you know, for volunteers, with that many volunteers, like I said, it's like 1,200 volunteers and it's 1,300 volunteers if we add the other programs we have. It's even hard to do a volunteer recognition. I can't have an event for.
Yeah, we did that.
You know, because Falmouth's not gonna go to Provincetown, Provincetown's not gonna go to Falmouth, we know how that goes.
Yeah.
But we always try to do a little token of some kind of appreciation for them, and it goes a long way. We do have a volunteer newsletter, so we keep in touch with them about that, and,
If you're keeping it for 5 years, you're doing really good.
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
You know?
yeah, and it's just really a meaningful way, and, you know, one great story I'll say,
cause summertime has gotta be hard.
yeah, it's like during the pandemic, what we found is a lot of older adults weren't able to, for health issues, had to be careful. They were, you know, worried about being in touch with people, whatever. So it was the school teachers who came to the rescue here on the Boulder, the outer state, really. And I'm just thinking
That's
about
good.
one of the drivers in Orleans, and she was, you know, not working, and she said, I want to volunteer for Meals on Wheels. So she was doing it like 2 days a week, filling in for somebody who their doctor said, no, don't be doing volunteer work. We can't have you catching COVID because you're compromised. And it turned out that she loved it so much, she was talking with her parents, and it turned out that she was connected with a family foundation, and then they've become great donors of ours. It's wonderful,
Nice.
you know. So right now, I just today signed 75 real letters to our high donors that I know. And then the other ones that will come out like a mass mailing, but you know, we have an annual campaign. And we also started a Spring for a Meal campaign last year. And we're gonna do it again this year, and it's for a whole week, the first week in May. Where we collect several restaurants to partner with us, and we have a QR code and a little tent card, and also little what would you call those things that you put your beer mug on, posters, yep, with our logo on it, with a scan thing. To donate, you know, for a meal for $13, you know, we'll get a meal. So we did really well with that campaign,
Oh, yeah.
and we're gonna definitely increase it
And,
this year.
and they're in restaurants,
In
so,
different restaurants, right, right.
Nice.
And I'm trying to recall if we had an East Ham restaurant. I don't know if we did, but we are reaching out to them.
yeah, there are some good ones that really might do it.
Yeah. So I know like in Wellfleet, Van Rensselaer's. was
Yeah,
part of that.
yeah,
Sign up
yeah.
for next year.
Peter's, yeah, he's an East,
That's
yeah,
great.
basically an
Yeah,
East
he's an
Ham
East Ham
person.
guy. There you go.
Yeah.
And I've been in the elder care network for many years, my whole career, basically, so good 35 years, and doing this work with older adults. And what's great about the Cape community is, you know, I'm connected to so many different towns and so many different people. It's
Yeah,
quite incredible. It's like an honor to, you know, work in this field.
we have found there are so many people through different agencies that we've talked to, there, the volunteer level at Play, it's amazing. And yet we have this aging population and such, and yet, you know, we're all taking care of each other at this point.
That's the problem.
So lastly, I'd just like to mention, like, if you don't know what SNAP is what they used to call the old food stamps program, which helps
Right.
people. And it could be anywhere from somebody gets $23 a month, all the way up to $200 a month, depending upon their income to supplement for food. And that is truly for people who are lower income and really need that. And especially, you know, we go to Stop and Shop and Shaw's, and we know the prices, right?
Yeah,
It's hard for all of us,
$25
but
is
it's
gonna do
really,
nothing.
really hard for people to. I don't even wanna say eat well, just eat okay, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
And with that recent crisis, you know, because we're dealing with homebound, so if they weren't on our meals program, or they were on our meals program, but they were really food insecure, we did get out to them with emergency gift cards for Stop and Shop, and we were starting to run out of that, and then we had a donor come to the table and help us with that, and that was just recently in the Chronicle, I think today, or whenever the Chronicle came out. Which was tremendous to help.
there was an article in the Cape Cod Times, and I was gonna be telling everybody about it, that I read, you know, it was talking about the food pantries that all of a sudden were swamped with people because the SNAP benefits were
Right.
cut. And so they had to sort of get extra donation, things got used up. And now, even though it's back, the level of need is still there. And will only increase because people are gonna lose their
Yeah.
SNAP benefits. And what happens in the end of January when the government shuts down again? And so the food pantries themselves are not necessarily recouping, it's gonna take
Yeah.
a while. So if you think you know, that people can get there to, you know, augment things.
Yeah.
They're.
So one of the
these
big things
other
too is
programs.
we were dealing with a lot of homebound, but all the senior centers, and I've been in touch, I regularly get in touch with all the COA directors, senior center directors, community center directors. To make sure that they were able to provide transportation for people who could go to food pantries and, you know, offer transportation. So that was certainly helpful, but. You know, I have this feeling that there'll probably be more little of these crises to come. It's sad, but, you know, that's where we're at, and things are gonna get tougher.
Yeah,
So,
it's not good, yeah, it's not gonna get easier in the very near future, I don't think,
So
but.
you feel confident of people stepping up to support it though, right?
I do, and
Yeah.
like I said, we just had a major donation, not necessarily to our program, but to the Cape. A major donor who lives on the Cape said, with food insecurity, did a big donation to Greater Boston Food Bank, and then did a big donation to Housing Assistance for Homeless Prevention. We got a little share of that in gift cards, which helped. But people see that, and they're like, you know, we need to donate, you know, and all the human service organizations, I can say this on the Cape, we were very, very lucky. We have a very giving community, but also we have great organizations, and we do partner and work together. So
Yes,
nobody wants to ever fight over somebody else's funding. You know, kids are just important as elders, but one challenge is that kids do get free school lunch, and a lot of places even a breakfast, but older adults, it's
Yeah.
not for free. I mean, it is for free, but it's not for free, you know?
Yeah.
right,
So that's the hard part of the funding.
I was looking at your funding, and I thought this was a great breakout sheet that was showing, your government grants, with net about 24% of your funding. There was foundation and corporate grants, you know, another private was 2.7, but the largest was from Mass Health. If I'm understanding this, earned income, Mass Bill Service to consumer health insurance, primarily Mass Health. Am I understanding that that's where 57% of your funding is coming from? The money from Mass Health to help supplement people's eating.
I'm trying to see where you're reading
At the
that.
very bottom on, and then,
on the philanthropy page,
yeah, and then the numbers I got were over here. There's earned income.
Oh, earned income. Well,
57.4.
yeah, so some people are on Mass Health for a home care program, so we are able to recoup
Right.
$12 for that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I had no idea that,
yeah.
so that's nice.
Yeah,
that's a
well, they're,
nice
they're getting
interest.
a service package that we have a budget for people for who are on Mass Health,
Yeah,
which that's another program that we're getting cut by, but that's state cut.
that's
right
state,
now.
I know.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't wanna
well, I read
overwhelm you
that.
with stuff, it gets
No.
complicated, but.
I was in there, so that's what that state, the state,
65 don't get Medicare.
the
Right,
current
So they get
administration,
something,
however, it's
right?
gonna be impacted anyway.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah, Medicare is not a source of paying for Meals on
No.
Wheels, you know, I
No.
wish it was for, cause, you know, that's one of our big pushes, food is medicine for people, it's nutrition.
and
and it should, there should be some way to, yeah, I mean, it,
food read my medicine.
Yeah.
And like food.
Can I ask you what earned income is?
Earned income is, we have an account that, we put money into to earn interest on.
And you get $3 million of earned income on this account?
I'm just trying to see if this.
No,
is the-
interest income's below that. But earned income right above, and that down here,
3 million.
it says meal service billed to consumers' health insurance. Mass
Or
Health
home care
or
account.
home care account, which is like, that's like a medical thing, right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to see if you see, I think this is the nutrition, we have the nutrition budget here, not our total, no, actually, this is our total organization.
Next to it,
from
yeah.
last year, I'm just looking, because our budget for this year is higher, our budget for this year is 68 million. The majority of the program is the state home care program, and we have, at any given time, 36 to 3,800 people in the home care program. So some of those people could get Meals on Wheels. But they might have home health aides, homemaking services, PCA, laundry, grocery shopping. The majority of the funds that we get, because I know it sounds like a large budget, but 3/4 of that budget goes right back out into services. So we have 50 vendors that we contract with. So if you were, and I'll pick on you.
That's what, no, yeah,
If
that's.
you were a client of ours and, you know, you become, you're in more need,
Disabled.
you need a home health aid and you
Right.
need grocery shopping done. we would contract with Anodyne, Viata Nurses, the visiting nurse, Best of Care. We have 50 different vendors and we put the services. We pay the vendors and the vendors have trained homemakers to go into the homes that are all trained and certified and what,
So you're not reimbursed by insurance? for
We-
any of that?
not by insurance, by Mass Health,
Mass Health.
but it's not really Mass Health, it's from the Executive Office of Aging and
Yeah.
Independence, so not Mass Health directly, no.
Hmm.
Insurances, a lot of times don't cover that. If it was somebody's insurance, they would probably have to have
It's long-term.
yeah, like a long-term and care insurance, which a lot of
Mhm,
people
right,
don't
right.
have anymore because it was so expensive policies.
So that's $48 million that subcontract?
Yes,
So it says.
yep. So like I said, it's a huge piece of our
Yeah.
budget, goes back out. The other big expense that we have is staff. We have 152 employees. And there's a good 24, 25 people in the nutrition program. Our part-time employees, we do pay benefits too.
Okay.
So,
And so those 25 people, they prepare the food?
nope, we have it through a caterer. So
Okay.
our caterer actually is off Cape, called City Fresh. And they deliver to, actually overnight. It goes
Okay.
into all the refrigerators around 15 different sites around the Cape.
Oh,
And then site managers come in, usually by 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning, and they start preparing for their routes, so.
Okay.
Orleans Eastham isn't as bad and crazy as if you were at Barnstable, where they have 16 different
Yeah.
routes,
Yeah.
and each route has 25 meals in it.
right.
So that takes 16 different drivers every day
To
of,
go
you know,
25 places.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, so that's
That's
the
a lot,
volume of,
that's a
yeah.
lot of places to cover. Yeah.
It is a big area, so
So
no
the
matter where you
driver-
are in Eastham, you know,
Yeah, so a driver would hit 25 households.
yes,
Oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God.
that's a lot, so then we need a.
That is a lot.
But the
That's why
route
they
recruits
have some
drivers.
contact, but not a
Yeah,
lot. They
okay,
have to
okay.
keep on
People
going.
is sick.
Yeah.
Because people are waiting for
But
the
drivers do
race.
call in sick, I mean, everybody gets sick, right? So we have
Yeah.
backup drivers, so that's where we have substitute drivers, so we call Larry, who usually does Thursdays, we ask him, could you come in and do Monday, you know, route
Right.
number 3, we need your help, so. And worst case scenario, our staff will go out and drive a route, and that often does happen, and
Mhm.
it's hard, but they like it too, because then they get to see.
It's a different aspect of, they actually get to see the end result of
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, I
It's
mean,
sort
if you ever wanna volunteer with us, it's great, I mean, you always get more than you could ever put into it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure, I'm
I
sure.
Just one other question.
Sure.
In-kind support, I know what in-kind support means, but where would your in-kind?
So our in-kind support, so remember I told you how we have volunteers, and if they're not accepting mileage, but they're giving us all their time, so we give a value to it. So for any federal money, we have to come up
We have
with
to come up
using
with
the
that.
25% match,
Okay.
yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, and then other things, you know, like for this program, you know, we might write off X amount of overhead towards it too as well.
Yeah, because I haven't written grant, I know that you do have to come up with.
Yeah, I mean, we are a big organization, but every piece counts for it, so that's all I can say, you know, and I think,
Big operation.
we've brought our awareness to the community, I think a lot more, you hear more and more about us, every once in a while you hear us on the radio and whatnot. I do have, I don't know who the chairs and vice chairs are, but it did bring 2 annual reports, so. We seem to know the money, so we go with that.
Okay.
But feel free to ask any more questions, even about our organization,
So that, right, beyond the meals, you do other,
oh, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
we, home care program's a big program. We also do have healthcare contracts with, for managed care, so low income people who have both Mass Health and Medicare, they're called duly certified. We, provide services to them through like say Tufts or, Fallon Healthcare.
Do you do the Shine program?
The Shine program is done at Barnstable County. A lot of other elder services do the Shine
Okay.
program, and elsewhere in the country it's called SHIP, but that's health insurance for Medicare, which is.
yeah, like our senior center usually
Yep,
has somebody.
Yeah,
there,
the volunteers, those are the best, and there's not enough federal funding, that was on the chopping block from the federal government too, which was crazy. Cause it's mostly a volunteer program, and it's,
Yeah.
for our state, I think it's maybe $3 million to run. Thousands and thousands
Doesn't
of
give you
counselors that are
right.
trained and regional program managers, so.
Do you do, legal services?
Yeah, so we have federal money, again, that's a pass through that we get, that we have to give out, so we give legal services. $60,000 in a grant every year.
And
They're
that,
mandated to do that.
that people can access that
Right,
if they
yeah,
have.
so they can call, and in the Hyannis office, we have, one main elder law attorney, and now there's a second. Because the population is growing, where, like, if you can't come into the office, they will come see somebody if they're, totally homebound or need it. And then they do rotate, it used to be not weekly, at least once a month through the senior centers. Now it's every other month, but now I think they're starting to get back to monthly visits, so. If you looked at your Eastham Senior Center newsletter, you would see a thing that says legal services. But they also, a lot of the COAs will have 2 or 3 other attorneys that do pro bono work. But legal services will handle things like evictions, they will handle things like social security benefits or Medicare problems. And they're really good at that, so.
Mhm.
I see that you lost $200,000 in federal funding, and because of that, and the nutrition program, you have to do all these reductions. Are you expecting further funding reductions? And if so, what else can you possibly do?
Yeah, I'm expecting that, through our state home care program, again, like if we're saying, if you had state home care, if you had a home care program.
Yeah,
Those meals that we're getting and the volume going up and up and up on the number of people that we're serving every year, because our population is still growing in older adults. Is that we have had cuts in that program, and one of the programs they cut is it's called an enhanced program. And because of that, our agency lost like basically another 1.5 million. And that's like TikTok started in March last year. And we're anticipating a dismal year for 27. So right now, our state home care program, statewide, so it's a network, is definitely short. We've calculated up $13 million.
It's just short.
It's short for what is in, like, was budgeted for.
And
So, and this happened last year of 60 million, and we advocated like crazy. I think we drove every legislator crazy, and we did get money, passed in the supplement budget at the very end.
so that's state monies that, wow.
Right, but that does offset, we try to do everything to offset this. But I think the federal government's just gonna go level funding. They've pretty much eliminated the administration, it's called the Administration for Community Living, so what used to be the Administration on Aging, they just went, "Choo,"
Oh, yeah.
and they said, you go to families, and they actually broke apart the Old Americans Act, but we asked them to put it released back together again, so all the programs for older adults and disabled could like stay in one place instead of being thrown
Like
into
they're
3
doing to the
different
Department of
agencies.
Education.
Yeah,
They're
they-
just-
Oh, yeah,
they're just destroying.
Yeah, I know, and I won't get into politics or anything like that,
Right.
but it is just really, so challenging,
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is a lot of the human services we've, here on the Cape, some of the bigger ones like ourselves. Started meeting like weekly just before the SNAP crisis, and because we had been meeting. Like on a regular basis, 4:30, 5 o'clock on a Thursday afternoon. To get together and brainstorm on how we're handling federal cuts and what are we preparing for a community health center down here, the Outer Cape Community Health Center. And all the other health centers as well. So now we have a regular system that we can meet as a crisis happen and help each other out and communicate really fast.
That's
It's
wonderful.
called a hyper local
Right.
response, and that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, hyper local response.
Yeah.
We can't have every human services join us. It's gotta be, sort of the bigger ones, but,
Well, because that way, at least that big net has the sort of, you are all supporting each other. And the smaller ones will, they either can create their own, or, they're gonna be calling up one of the agencies and saying, how, what are you doing? Or
yeah,
something.
the other thing that will cut us will be, what's to come with Medicaid. So we've already been told, like, this is out of Julian Sears' mouth. On Friday, we had a legislative breakfast in Hyannis. And he said the state is anticipating for 27, which will start in July,
July
July
1st.
Yeah. It will be $3 billion that our state will lose in revenue, mostly tied to Medicaid. So
Mostly tied to the Cape.
Medicaid, yeah, the loss of Medicaid funds. And Medicaid, just so you know, for our state, it's pretty much 50-50. So our state puts in 50% and the federal government puts in 50%. But you know, rural community health centers around the state may have to close or merge or, you know, Out-of-Cape Health will be affected.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely, and it, yeah.
We, you know, we have challenges now to get healthcare and, you know, I could go on forever about things.
You're speaking to the,
Well,
The choir,
we have you on the
basically.
committee Here.
yes, yes, no, all right, well, thank you very much for coming
Okay.
down
And a
and,
couple of you have my card, so if there's any other
Yeah.
questions or anything,
yeah, and.
or anything we can do, and
appreciate-
we appreciate, even if you just learn about us, you know, I'm happy if you do decide to fund us for any amounts, because I realize there's a lot of need out there, but.
Yeah, because we have
Just
been
know
asked
that
to
we're
level
in the
fund
community to
also,
It's
but,
a wonderful
You know, no
job.
matter what.
but one of the
That's
things,
great.
I mean, yeah,
People work for you.
yeah,
Sometimes they don't hear that, how much they're appreciated.
I love my staff, I do. Probably one of the few people that always said, I do, I love my staff, and I love the people that we serve. I try to get out there, even though I have the big job, but to go visit, Meals on Wheels, I always try to make sure I do that a couple times a year.
yeah,
Yeah, and next week, we had people, we had Stop and Shop underwrite like 300 meals. We're gonna be giving them out in Brewster and in Provincetown.
Nice.
You know, grab and go, and there's no income eligible for that. It's just people that need a meal,
That's.
you know, which is great. We're doing the same thing for the holidays. We had all the assisted livings underwrite those meals, so.
yeah, that's
stuff.
great,
Good,
but,
very good.
so,
Yes.
you know, we will be looking because, you know, who knows? But we also, having some of your statistics and some of this information. I mean, I'm looking at the list of all the other towns and Eastham isn't on there, and that's a piece that I want to use with our town, like. Somebody's missing from here. And it was, yes, you didn't, but we need to be providing some money for, you know,
Yeah.
to make sure we're on there because. You know, so you know, but again, there's, you know, as a group, we decide and we, come up with our.
Okay.
Looking at
Give you as
the
much as you
limited
can.
funding
That's
we
what
have.
And thank you, Paul, because I know you're here on your own time as volunteers for the town, so thank you. This is a lot, you know.
Yeah.
Keep up the good work, and they're all good causes. Fund us
They
all.
are, and thank you very much. Oh, you too, bye. Okay,
We didn't get
Finance
anything.
person.
So they hadn't been part of this last year.
They didn't get it. They got
weren't, yeah.
zero.
No, they didn't ask.
well, because they didn't apply last year, so that money got reshuffled around, and one of the
This year they
things,
asked for 5,000 and we gave 1,000
yeah.
2 years ago. right?
Yes, yes. Well, because they were new that year and we
Oh,
could only,
yeah.
you know, it was hard to, we had several new ones that year. And we were trying to, you know, give something to people and as Dorothy said, anything to help people have food,
Yeah,
you know, but because you know, we have, I was looking at the lists and such, and we have. Where can I find that? 4 new ones this year that it had applied before. But then didn't apply for whatever reason. And they are asking for approximately $16,000.
Is that,
Those 4 agencies,
is that counting this one for 5?
that's counting this one.
Yeah, so.
And, are the agencies that other agencies that we had funded, there were 11 of those and 6 of them asked for a little bit more money and up for a total of about $11,000. So,
25,000 altogether then?
yeah, it was about 20.
Under.
It was around 27,000 more than what we have. But, you know, our Cape Health was looking for $7,000 more than what we've given them, so that, you know, is a large number, but. We do have a $4,000 bit of money because Independence House was funded last year, and we don't have that, so I think we can. At least we know we have something. But potentially we do need to go
I was gonna
and
say,
talk to
That's good.
Jackie
So
or
23
have her come to one of our meetings.
Yeah, I agree.
Who is our representative on?
Jamie Dimitri.
Could we ask her to come?
Oh, we could.
Jamie's very, very verbal. I mean, I'm glad.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
incredibly verbal and kind and caring.
right,
Right.
right.
So that's a good way to go. And
Yeah.
if everybody, if we give everybody what they asked for, it's
Right.
looking at needing an additional 23,000.
Well, right, right, exactly, but we never give what everybody asks
Right.
for.
Okay, yeah,
And the additional money from, many of the people who were looking for more money, it was $500 or $1,000 more, whatever.
Mhm.
And everybody basically has said, anything you can give
Anything,
us.
right, everybody knows it's cut back.
And it's more, it's like this agency is going to be suffering a great deal, and there's 90 people, and it will be more than that, that, our money is going to be supporting.
Yeah,
So maybe need to be, asking for some more money to be sure that,
I wonder if we should count up the amount of Eastham residents, that each agency, to have a total.
we could.
Say, and I don't know if we have totals from years before, but that always kind of gives.
To see, yeah, right.
Yeah, an increase. that might
We'd have
increase
to
it.
look at old grants and such to see an increase in, if there were more people served. It's a little hard it's sort of like comparing apples and oranges in a way, because if you think of an agency like the AIDS Support Group that is so unique and,
Yeah,
but needed to be there, to be in existence, but yet not that many Eastham people.
no,
Right,
versus-
very few, I think I read, look at that, 4, or 3 or 4.
Yes,
Versus,
right,
Right.
but at any time, we could have another 15 people in town who are avoiding
right?
being involved in that,
But if we did a layout,
but we could do that as we're.
spreadsheet, the number of people served.
right, right.
And other years, I know for myself, I have done that.
No, it's not all people, it's not all bit kids.
Right,
it's not
the
all-
ages
but
and stuff,
Still, just for,
right,
a measure to see, I mean, that just gives more weight if when, the committee does want to go and ask for more funding,
right, right,
can't expect us, or agencies to do the same on, what they got last year when they're serving. this
if they were
many more
serving
East-
this many more
more
people.
East Ham
Yeah,
residents.
Yes,
Now, I wonder if the catch-all sells to select people to be, well, we're getting 91 people served. And at a requested cost of $5,000, not cost, but a donation of $5,000. But then it's benefiting the town to the tune of 87,000.
Right.
That's like
Yeah,
a good market.
yeah,
Give us 5, we're gonna back 80.
yeah, yeah.
Not that it works that way.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah,
that-
but I think that that's one of the things that we need to be thinking of, is that type of, look, because they're really, they're having a hard time funding.
Right.
This is probably their next, it's
Yeah,
Ellie.
yes, okay.
But funding things.
Right,
So they,
I think.
are really trying, and if is going to be an override, it's like they're trying to keep things at, any raise in cost. at to a minimum.
Our taxes have gone up, but I mean, it's not.
Right,
Did
You
you
know,
all discuss that thing about?
I'd like to
Did you?
rather see it
Part
go there.
About the lease program,
I did a while ago, yeah,
I was just kidding yesterday, and it's about if you're willing to rent out your home for 12 months. That if it's a 3-bedroom home, you're eligible for, it didn't say you get.
right, because I
$15,000,
have a
you're
neighbor
eligible
who
to
actually
$50,000.
has done it.
So somewhere, and God bless the people who are doing this, I don't begrudge them their money. But somewhere in
There's money?
this town, there's $15,000 that they could give to you,
Yeah,
and me, if we gave up our house.
Or if
Right.
we give 5,000,
Or 5,
we can serve
Yeah.
91
Yes,
people,
yes, yes.
instead of like 3 bedrooms.
yeah, so I
You
mean,
know.
I think there's just.
A way of selling
Yeah,
it.
we have to ask.
Presenting it.
That's
Presenting
what
that.
I think we need to
have to
do,
do
is
that.
how to sell it, and that might be why we have Jamie come, is how do we sell this to you?
Well, Jamie, these are I think we have to do. what
We
you
have to do it
suggested.
for-
We have to do our homework first and write it all down.
Right,
and then put it in a formal format.
Yeah,
And say, Jamie, this is our concern. Now, how would you recommend you go about doing this? And afterward,
okay, because I have a couple of things too I need to bring up to you, everybody, after we have Ellie.
Hi.
Hello. I guess you got admitted.
Welcome.
Welcome, Ellie.
Thank
We
you.
were,
Is that the least, is that the least to locals program that you were talking about?
yeah, the housing, yes. It is something in Eastham, but it is part of a larger organization. I believe how they're getting the money, the 15,000.
Oh,
It's up to
up
15,000.
to
yeah,
It's, the town has elected to join some organization to do that.
Uh-huh.
which is,
Yeah,
It
Orleans,
is-
Orleans has done it, is doing it as well. Like they sent out like a card to all, but yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, 'cause I know a neighbor in, near me, people, they had rented their house in the summer. But they just rented it year round to a local family,
nice.
because of that program. So,
Good. Oh, that's good.
and, it's actually been great because it's nice to have the same people in the house, and half the time it was empty,
Yeah, yeah,
so it is good.
I agree.
But anyway, welcome Ellie from Homeless Prevention. And we're happy that you could join us. You can see that we also have one other committee member who's also on Zoom, though you can't see her face, but she's there, Felice.
Hello,
Hi.
And
welcome.
so, and
Thank
I'm Kate Berg, I'm the one who's communicated with you and such.
Great, thank you.
So, if you want to give us just sort of an overview as to, because you've got a lot of different services and such that you're providing for us.
Yeah.
Give us a sense of how things are going and, uh, because one of the things we're also hearing from everybody is if you've been suffering cuts through any of other any federal monies.
Well, we are waiting to hear on actually the only federal funding that we have is for our youth and young adult, two of our youth and young adult programs,
Okay,
which
good.
are Cape and Islands wide, and it flows through the county, Continuum of Care, which is a consortium at the county level. And so it's HUD funding for a youth outreach program and
Uh-huh.
a host homes program for youth ages 18 to 24, so young adults really, who are experiencing homelessness or housing instability. And so that funding ends early next year, and the request for proposal, that stuff was just released this week, which is a huge delay. And so kind of
Yes.
anybody's
Doesn't give you
guess.
much time.
What's going to happen with that. Typically, well, so let's say prior to the current administration, when you had those grants, they were almost always renewed. And nobody thinks that that is necessarily still going to be the case. So
Mhm.
it's up in the air.
Right, but at least
Yeah.
it's that if it has one focus of your programs, you have plenty of other
Yes.
things
Yes.
that you're going.
Yeah. I mean, the heartbreaking part of, well, I mean, I don't want to jinx us. What's challenging about that is that it was a 2-year sort of a pilot program. It's called a demonstration
That's right,
project.
yes. Mhm.
And so we've discovered, we've served a lot more youth, discovered and served a lot more youth than anybody kind of expected. So it's like now we know they're there, the prospect of losing that funding is very heartbreaking because there's all these, people, young adults who aren't going to get these services if that were to pass. So knock on wood. Um,
And
as
we're
far
trying to keep the young people around, you know, so.
exactly, exactly. Yep. Um, for our case management, we just, continue to see growth year over year. I mean, it's not slowing down. People are, more people are coming through our doors every year. Um, we had a slight increase in the number of people we served in Eastham, in FY 25 compared to the year before. But as far as what our services, the scope of our services is very broad, but our goal is to keep people stably housed and financially secure. And we do that through individualized case management. We now have a geographic model where we have case managers designated by town. So there's a case manager who works with Eastham residents, and I believe she also works with Truro. We have them divided up so that the caseloads are roughly equivalent across the case managers based on the size of the towns and the number of clients we typically see in those towns. Um, and it's really about helping people where they're at. So whatever they need when they walk in the door, we're actually looking at the whole picture of what's going on. So they might come in and say, my car broke down. I need money to repair my car because I can't get to work. If I can't work, I can't pay my rent. If I can't pay my rent, I'm going to lose my home. For us, it's all connected. Um, so then it's looking at that big picture, what else is going on? Are they keeping up with their other bills? Can we get them, connected with fuel assistance, reduced utility rates? Can we get them on SNAP? Those are just some of the many components, but it's also about working collaboratively with other organizations such as Lower Cape Outreach, St. Vincent de Paul, other places that provide direct assistance if somebody needs that. Our case managers are very knowledgeable about all the different resources available on the Lower and Outer Cape, and are also very conscientious about not duplicating resources. So it's like if they know that a particular fund will only address childcare or something specific to what that client is experiencing, they will go to that agency for that request, keeping in mind that, if they've already gone to Lower Cape Outreach, once, then Lower Cape Outreach might not want to help again. And so sort of putting together the optimal package to meet the needs of the client and use the resources in a smart way.
Will then the client have to go to the different agencies, or does the case manager help with some of that too?
The case manager helps to the extent that the other organizations, so it depends on who else they're working with. Some organizations prefer to get a call from the case manager. Some will say, no, we want the client to call us directly, but the case managers know which ones. So, but it's
Yeah.
they are guided through that process, whether the case manager is making the call or not.
Okay.
You can call call whatever, Duffy, or call Outer Cape Health, or whoever they're, calling, and telling them what they're what they should be asking for.
Okay, yeah, because that sometimes is the key to getting the services, is asking the right question for the, what they really need.
Right. So that's like sort of the initial process is sort of the, solving what's happening immediately. And then from there, it's also, getting them to, apply, get themselves on wait lists for different types of housing, depending on what they qualify for. Um, like I said, applying for other kinds of benefits that they might qualify for. A lot of people don't realize, that they're eligible for these services. And so that their, kind of like their overall costs can go down. enabling them
Yeah.
to be better able to keep up with their housing costs, which, as we know, are just skyrocketing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know, uh, the cost of, I think it was, uh, a house,
Yeah,
you know, what people are making, they need to be able, they had to make $200,000 in a year, and the average is 94,000. I mean, that's nowhere near able to, um, get a house,
Yeah,
and there's not, I mean, and smaller houses that income would be eligible for, there just aren't even that many of them.
right.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then, um, you know, apartments and such, and they're just to rent an apartment, even if they're building new ones, then, you know, the amount of money you have to have as income to pay that rent.
Yes, so that's one of the things we often are helping people with is moving costs because, getting together the security deposit and first month's rent is
Right.
often beyond people's reach. Even if they are able to afford the apartment once they get into it. Um, we have a lot of people who are, living pretty close to the margin.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure.
um, so that's the primary part of what we do, and then we have some special programs. So for instance, right now we're in the thick of our Adopt a Family program, which is a holiday program that
Yeah.
matches families with children with donors who provide clothing and toys customized to what the family has requested. So the family can give like a specific wish list, this toy, this type of, this color clothing. We really try to, it's
So it
not
can
a
be, they
generic
really
thing.
mean shopping for their family, and which, you know,
Yeah.
it- and have things, not just, picking them out.
Yeah. Yeah. And so with that program, for instance, we're already, I don't know, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but we've already surpassed the numbers for last year in terms of the
Yeah,
number of kids.
yeah.
It's just, the need is, the need just hasn't gone away.
Yes, I know. I mean, this is just a question related to that, and it's just
Yeah,
personal. I bought this little truck thing for my grandson and found out he already has it, and I'd rather not take it back. I probably could, but I'm not going to. Can I leave it at your office and it will go to
Absolutely.
somebody?
absolutely, yeah.
Cause I just felt like cause it wasn't like a huge expense, but it's a cute little, it's a great truck for a little 3-year-old kid. I mean, I love
Do you
it.
get things
Somebody
from
will
the
love it.
Toys for Tots?
I'm sorry?
Do you get any of the Toys for Tots? Does that flow over to you guys?
No, our program is separate from that.
It's
So
separate.
but we do refer people, so people have to be in our service area to be eligible for our program.
Okay.
So if they aren't eligible, then we would send them over to Toys for Tots, or there's some other programs on the Cape, on the other parts of the Cape. So
Okay. Cause is it at Snows, do you still do, is it like on to find out, to get one of the families? How do people donate?
oh, I don't I'm not sure.
Cause Snows used to have a tree in the foyer and you
Yeah,
could
they did
take.
yeah. And I don't know if they did the trees this year, honestly. I'm sorry, I can't answer that
That's
question.
okay. That's okay.
Are you still
I mean, a
doing
lot of, we have, sorry, go
are
ahead.
you still doing the bicycles?
Yes, yep,
And how
still,
does that work? I forget.
I'm sorry.
How does that work? I remember from last year that we did that, but I don't remember.
So,
How did that work?
the family can request a bike, or I think it's a bike or a scooter or
Skateboard.
yeah, a skateboard. Or an adaptive, or an adaptive bike if the child needs it. In addition to the clothing and the toys, we do ask families that if they don't need a bike to not request it year over year.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously kids grow, but, and actually one of the changes this year is that families have the option to either receive the bike in December as part of Christmas or to receive it later in April when it gets warm and it's, if they don't have a place to store the bike over the winter. And that way we don't have to store as many bikes before, pickup. So
Yes.
they're being given that option now to receive it in the spring instead of now.
That's actually great.
Yeah.
Thing, to do because it does, they can't, I mean, you sort of can ride a bike frequently here, but at the same time, it's not the same as really riding it in the summer. But
Right.
I think the case management just sounds like such a wonderful uh, it just makes so much sense to really counsel people in helping them, uh, learn things and start to at least help them see. I mean, you get overwhelmed by things, and so working with a case
Yeah.
manager can bring down some of the anxiety and help them to look so they can move ahead. And
Yeah.
reading some of the stories of people, different people and stuff. I mean, those are excellent, and it just, um, does put a face to what you do. And it's good way to, uh, have people understand that, you're not just handing them money, you are actually really coaching them in how to, uh, become independent.
Yeah.
And, and it's really easy, especially down here, to get overwhelmed by bills. You know, those first heating bills as the temperature drops and all of a
Oh, yeah.
sudden, you're like, at the same time when the SNAP benefits went away, and it was like
Yeah.
cruel.
Are you the ones that, kind of, try to connect a senior who's living in a home by themselves with someone that might need a place to live? Was
Yeah, I
that
think you're
you?
talking about our Host Homes program.
Yeah, okay, that's
Yeah, so
fine.
that's one of those HUD-funded youth programs that I mentioned at the start. And the way that works is somebody who has a room in their house, they don't have to be a senior, they can be any age. And actually, they don't even have to be a homeowner, they could also be a renter. But who has a room and wants to become a host can apply. It's a pretty thorough vetting process. On both sides, both for the youth and for the host. And then also a thorough matching process because what we really want are hoping for is to kind of get some long-term situations, for youth so the host can host a particular a youth for up to 12 months. They're eligible for $1,000 a month as a stipend. And then they could then potentially host another youth after that 12 months. So it makes sense given how many people we have here with too much house, matching them with people who have no house.
Mhm.
So many empty hands there.
So what kind of response that you mentioned that was a 2-year pilot program that may not be funded in the future, but how many, do you have a figure of how many kids you actually got placed?
I think it's been 8 so far.
Very good.
Yeah,
Yeah, and
because it's, and
our goal was 10 to get to 10, and I think we'll get there if not surpass that in this
yes,
period.
yeah. Well, because I think that what has, people need to hear about the successes and know there's people who may be willing, or, and plenty of people who have the space, but they're hesitant to do it. But if they talk to another person who has done it and found out that, you know, that get their questions answered by another host, I
Right,
think it would give it more success, but
yeah.
if the funding goes away, then, you know,
Yeah, and we're also looking at, what other ways we might, continue the
fund
program,
it.
even if that funding goes away. I mean, we don't want these programs to end. And yeah, I think you're right. Hearing from other hosts is probably the best way to get people interested and involved, to hear that it was a positive experience and, you know,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I think, I mean, the kids, or the youth are going to, they need to know too, sort of share it with other potential people, but at the same time, some of them, they may be more willing to take a risk moving into someplace, but at the same time, with scams out there, various things, people are hesitant to open up their homes. And
Yeah.
I think that if the more people who hear about it, it could work.
Yeah.
But
Two
Goal is
questions.
really to make, sorry, go ahead.
If a person opened up their home, is there a case manager that works with them? I'm just thinking that as Kate said, it can be a risk for an elderly, say, female to take in a young person. Is there case management that works with them so
Yes.
that if there are,
Yes, we really have worked to design a program to take some of that fear and scariness out of the equation. It's not just like renting to somebody on Craigslist where it's
yeah,
unknown.
exactly.
So that's what that initial vetting and matching process is about. And then there's a case manager who works with the youth, and then there's the host homes coordinator who works with the hosts. We designed it that way intentionally so that should there be any issues, that there were different staff people who
Right.
could help mediate it rather than one person who was torn between the host
Yeah.
and the guest, sort of caught in
Right
the
idea.
middle.
Yeah, right.
And I believe, couldn't guarantee this 100%, but I do believe that things like, if somebody wasn't comfortable, like you said, an older woman might not be comfortable having a young man in the house. I believe that is taken into account as well.
Sure. And what about non-English speaking clients? Do you also provide any services for that type of client?
Absolutely. We don't turn anybody away regardless of what language they speak or where they're from or immigration status or
Right.
any of those things. We have an interpreter service that we can use with people who, I mean, really people who live here, I mean, often do understand quite a bit of English,
Right.
but having the interpreter, of course, helps make the
Yeah.
process. It helps them feel more confident, really
Sure.
more than our
Yes.
case managers. There's so much technology now too to help that. I mean, they will often come
yes,
in with, Google Translate or whatever, but we do have a professional service that we use as well.
Right.
Which is important for things like if you're filling out, applications or things
Mhm.
that are official, you want to make sure that,
Well, correctly done.
yes. So like, for instance, I speak Spanish, but not professionally. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes somebody will ask me to help, with a conversation and I say, I can help like with the basics, but if you're going to do something more formal, use the service because I want to make sure that you get it right and I'm not, making an error.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
right.
Thank you.
But, okay. That's- Well, thank you for your time. We, have your application and we, What we do is we're an advisory committee and we put everything together. We've been asked to level fund basically, this year. But, we are the ones, we take what we, what agencies have asked for and what we have for our amount of money, and we are able to, look at the number of people who are served, et cetera, and try to, you know, support the agencies that we feel, really are helping Eastham people. And we submit that information to the town administrator and the select, and who brings it to the select board, it goes into the town budget, et cetera, and so all this funding is for, July first. And at that point, you would, once town meeting has happened and July first comes around, then the agency hears how much the funding is, just as has happened for many years, because homeless prevention has been with us for quite a few years now, so.
Yes, we appreciate all the continued support that, that you've provided to us overall. The application says 31 years. I haven't been
Yeah.
around HPC that long. That's almost,
But when you look at what, with our $14,000 investment got us a lot more money back,
Yeah,
it's-
130.
yeah, 30,000, it's about a tenfold return, so, it does, make a difference,
It's multiplied.
and I know, and when you also seek your bigger grants, if you can say all the towns are supporting you in some way, then it does make a difference,
it
but,
does make a difference, yeah.
it does, we know that, what you do is, it's a good, you're good stewards of the money. So we thank you for joining us.
A little bit of money, it sounds like to me, yeah.
Yeah, they do a lot with a little bit of money.
Yeah.
They do.
And,
It's amazing, yep.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, we appreciate it because it's like a wide range of ages and, focus, I like that the youth, you've picked on that as a need, but also any family or anybody can, walk in the door and receive services. But thank you, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you for having me.
all right.
Thank
Good night. All right.
What do we have on December 3rd?
So for December 3rd, I have Rhonda Guerin from Site Loft Services.
Site loss, okay.
Yeah. And also Gwyn Gazzo from How. I called her again. I had tried calling her and I'd emailed her. I called her up and I got her on the phone. I said, "Gwyn."
Stop by.
Yeah. And so she said, "Oh, yeah, there was something about November 19th. I said, "Well, that date's already been filled now, and but how about?" And she jumped right on it, so yeah, so we have how, but again, that's another agency that we had funded and we didn't fund last year for whatever
That's
reason
right.
they did, yes.
Yeah.
So that's who we have for December 3rd. I have the Alzheimer's application here. Police, should I leave an application for you in the foyer?
Sure, that'll be fine. I can pick it
Okay,
up
I'll-
tomorrow.
Okay,
I think we
Well-
need that one because it.
oh, yeah,
I need this one.
oh, okay.
Two.
Well, instead of leaving, I don't have an envelope with me. I'll get it,
Whatever's convenient. I could pick it up at your house. If you
no,
like,
I'll get it there, I'll get it to the foyer tomorrow. I may not be, bright and early, but I'll get it.
No,
there.
just send me a
Yeah.
text when you
And
drop
then
it
I'll
off.
text you, yeah, okay. That it's there. All right.
That's
So,
another one with 0 last year, but.
Right. right. So we have, right, the Alzheimer's one is for $5,000 and cover letter,
Yes, they forgot to replace it.
they, they didn't, it was 2 years that they missed.
Yeah.
And, you know,
That's exactly
there's some
what it is.
feeling that they weren't notified, but I don't know. They were notified, but anyway, I have the article, and what I can do is, I'm gonna see if I can email you the article from the Cape Cod Times. Unless you do, it's,
But I guess-
What's the article?
it's
email it.
the food banks will feel fallout for
Oh.
months. And it's just interesting, and I think it's a piece of what we might need for our presentation, because it's not just food banks,
Right.
it's everybody.
We should approach Jackie in December with the Christmas spirit. I remember, yeah, I remember her coming in here one year. and
I will email, Jamie though. And see, because she also might be away in January, but the first week in January, it's the 7th, that Monday. I've only got one booked, and I think I'm gonna leave it as one. I'm also traveling right before that, getting
Okay,
back
that
on
makes
Monday, just in case something happens, that
Right.
I've only got one agency to cancel out.
I'll probably
But-
not be here by then. I don't think I'll be here by then,
The 7th,
so you know.
Seventh, you'll be,
you'll have gone by then,
Well, we
but,
leave the ninth, so.
yeah.
right, so January
You'll be
7th.
here, but not here.
I'll be here, I'll be here.
Yeah. Oh, you can, you know, if you
I'll
can,
come in,
but it's, but then, cause what I was figuring was part of that meeting, we might sit and discuss some things.
Okay.
So even if you come up with some
Good idea.
argument,
Oh, I will, yeah,
okay,
I will.
let us know.
You gotta get my money.
Yes, yes.
So I'm gonna pay.
But then the next day, we had talked, I finally did hear back from Paul Lonergan from Family Pantry. And I had offered him Tuesday, the Tuesday of the next week, or that Thursday, January 8th,
For a January visit.
for a January visit. And he asked if we could come on January 8th at 10 o'clock in the morning. And so I'm wondering, those of you who said you could potentially
What
come,
day of the week it is?
it's a Thursday,
January
and
8th.
you're gonna be too busy, and that'll be okay.
I may be, I might be able to do the 7th,
It's-
whatever I can.
What's the name of the food bank?
It's the Family
Family
Pantry,
Pantry, okay.
the Family Pantry, and it's on 28 in Harwich. And
Well, that's chance.
so, and what I would tell him, so
doubt
you
it.
can come, MJ,
No.
you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, and
I
Ellen,
could go, I'm pretty sure I could go.
okay,
Thursday is okay.
10.
I might be able to make it.
What's the, well, I can look up the paperwork, but the exact address on Route 28,
I don't know.
a street number?
I don't know. I think if you, actually. I think I have it in here, but I couldn't tell you where it is. There it is. It says Harwich,
It doesn't say a number.
Queen Anne, 133 Queen Anne Road.
You ever able to get hold of, the Council on Aging about the $1,000?
I haven't heard back from her, so
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we didn't.
I think she wasn't sitting at her desk to write it down, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, we knew in a second.
Plans.
So I will tell him, I will respond. I said that probably it would work out, so I was gonna let him know. And what I'll tell him is that, yes, we will come, and that it could be two
Yeah.
to four of us or whatever.
Yeah.
And Felice, do you think you might be able to go on that day, January 8th?
Sure, yes.
Okay, so it could be anywhere from, say, 2 to 5 people, but, and if people can't, I mean, we'll meet the day before so we can finalize it and stuff, but you know, if
Meet the night before,
Yeah.
right?
we do meet the night before on January 7th, that's our Wednesday night meeting. And this is a Thursday morning, and that way we would,
Confirm.
yeah.
That sounds good.
Yeah, and if we, you know, he's new, so in a way, if there's more people than just one, it might, you know, we'll see how it works. He hasn't done this before, this is new to, you know, but anyway. Though Chris is doing great. I played golf with her this summer several times, so she's, the previous,
Oh,
eh,
director?
director of the Family Pantry. She had been there for many, many
Yeah, yeah.
years and stuff, and,
Cool.
she retired the end of June, and then she joined us, and, she's a hoot, but she's, happy to have a little bit more time in her life. So, January 8th, we'll do that, but January 7th would be that meeting, and then also the 14th. Which you might be available for, would probably only be one agency, because
We're running,
we're at the end, and I think that will be the Alzheimer's
okay.
group. Though it could be Sustainable Cape Cod, maybe I'll do Alzheimer's for December 10th.
I was gonna say,
That's sustainable, I said that program.
It does look like a wonderful,
Sustainable.
yeah,
Sustainable.
but I'm just wondering about
Yeah, I know.
it, if it's what we should be funding with everything that's
Yeah.
there. That's one of the things.
Definitely, I'm gonna vote a very big positive for that.
And one of
That's
these
fine, that's
managers
kinda
happens to be the mother of Ben Affleck,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're fantastic.
one of the board of directors.
Okay.
Because she, I guess, has a place in
I
Truro.
thought it was in Truro, yeah, because of our Truro.
Yeah. But anyway, it is a wonderful program,
Yeah.
but I just, you know, when we look at,
Start doing stuff like that.
yeah. I think they have really stayed at it and kept doing things. But anyway, so I think we're done for tonight. I will check that. So
Me yawn.
as long as I will keep pursuing the AI. And, Family Pantry, January 8th, I'm just looking at the article, okay. We're all set.
Good, okay, we'll see you next week.
Somebody wants to adjourn, please?
Somebody,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Motion.
okay, Ellen moved.
Motion to adjourn,
And, okay, meeting is adjourned.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
Thank
happy
you.
Thanksgiving
Thank you.
to everybody,
We don't meet next
8:06.
week. Right. Forget.